We're spilling the bubble tea
on our friendship.
Yes.
Hello everyone, my name is Lisa and I'm the Viet Vegan because I'm Viet and I'm vegan, and today I'm joined by
Janelle,
who is one of my best friends, and we decided to do a Q&A mukbang of our friendship. So I asked questions over on Instagram. If you're not following me there already, you're missing out.
My permission to eat? Okay. Well, I need the fish. Can you pass the fish?
Oh, yeah.
Eating naked food.
I'm too lazy to make the actual fish sauce, so she's just using the raw dog fish sauce.
Are you not using this?
No, I am. Oh, actually, I might use soy sauce. The Golden Mountain seasoning.
I hate soy sauce.
We're eating lemongrass tofu on noodles, cucumber,
There's something in my eye.
lettuce. All right, so today we're doing a mukbang of our friendship. We asked people on Instagram questions for us to answer.
Hold. There's something still in my eye.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, let me check the bear.
We also have lumpia, which we made in a video. I'll link it down below and in the corner. I'll link the recipe to this tofu down below. I also did a video for it a long time ago. Oh, this sauce is lit. This is really difficult to eat at this level.
I know. It's a very odd level.
All right, so we have a bunch of questions here that we're gonna answer, and some of them are juicy. To start off, Brad asked, what is a mukbang? Brad is one of my old roommates from university, but a mukbang is an eating show. So if you are not okay with eating sounds, maybe this is not for you. I'll try to edit out the grosser ones, but
Well, it's not like we're making our mouths.
no, but sometimes people can't even this mic picks up a lot.
My sister can't stand our sounds of eating.
Yeah, Jamie, this video is not for you.
She yells at me.
I yell at my brother all the time because he eats with his mouth open. I'm like,
I
bro.
don't, but when I approach chips, apparently I do it with my mouth open.
I mean, like when you crunch, you can't just like that's not feasible.
Yeah, see, that's what she wants me to do. So I'm always like, when I'm eating chips, I'm so scared because she's like this. And I'm like, that makes me really self-conscious.
So the first question is, what's the perfect gift for the other? I had time to think about this and I still couldn't answer the perfect question.
Because I like everything.
I know, right? Like something to do with plants or Star Wars or photography or food or there's a lot of things.
I know. Well, that's the same thing for you. Like I would get you like something nerdy probably. Like I've gotten you board games in the past, or something for the kitchen, or an experience.
You've got me
I'm a big fan of experience.
the Fearless Female shirt. There's a root sweater that I really like, although my shoulders are too big for it now.
No, I can't think of a gift that you've given me that I didn't like.
No, not me.
Oh.
Other people.
I was like, I don't think so. It's not that I have high standards. Like I'm not a materialistic person. It's more so like the thought or if presents don't really reflect
You.
personality. Yeah, I'd be like, why?
It's like, what am I gonna do with this?
Yeah. There's been some times where like, because, okay, I like photography, then people get me something with a camera on it.
It's like, okay, great.
That's not really useful to me. I'm like, thank you. My dad actually went really hard with the camera themed gifts last year, and I was like, thanks. I got socks, I got a t-shirt. He's like, it's got a camera on it. I was like, thank you.
That's a good like dad gift though.
Oh.
He would appreciate that. Like if you wear it around, he's like, I could
He's
do
so
this.
happy.
Yeah. Okay, the next question is, what does Janelle do for work? Love when she's in your videos.
Yay! Well, actually, I just got a promotion.
Woo!
So I currently I'm going to run, starting Monday, a community center that runs a bunch of programs for kids and adults and seniors. I work for recreational programs. So I was teaching stuff, and now I'm running a center. So it's very exciting.
I'm very proud of you. Nicole asked, how are both of you? They're really great. They just got married on Halloween.
Really?
And they look like a dope Legolas goth elf.
That was cool.
Yeah.
I just keep.
Mo Josh.
I'm great.
I'm also great. We did a lot of work today.
We got a lot done.
I didn't think that we could do it all. Granted, we still have a couple projects left to do.
Yep. I'm gonna be home at midnight.
Is that okay?
It's fine.
I feel like this is more a me question, but this is something that started off this whole like series that we've been doing.
Okay.
How do you deal with the cultural barriers of eating vegan/plant-based?
How do I deal with it?
Because you don't eat red meat. So that's like something that's like kind of...
I'm kind of dealing with it right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to incorporate more plant-based stuff into my diet. So even like I went like red meat free like 6 years ago, and that was even tough for my family. Even like at family gatherings, it was like a lot of like, what do you mean you don't eat this? It was very, very difficult, and like now it's actually fine, but that's been like a slow process because everything is red meat in the Philippines and mostly pork. They make alternatives anyway because my dad didn't eat pork, so already they're alternating stuff. And then when I said I'm not eating red meat anymore, they were pretty mad, but now they're coming around. And now even more so, like, I brought home the recipes that we made before, and my mom really liked them. So I think she's more open-minded to making Filipino recipes and like home cooked stuff, vegetarian or vegan. So that's good.
Because I remember I would bring food home and she'd be like, "What are you eating?"
I
was like, "Sushi." She's like, "There's no fish." Yep.
Yeah, she was very like, "What are you making?" If you ever were cooking in my kitchen, she was like, "What is this?"
I think I made like the green monster soup and she's like, "Why is it green?"
Yeah, but that soup kept me alive, so
it's a good time.
Yeah.
I'll link that recipe down below. For me, it was a lot easier once my mom went vegetarian. I'm still kind of like salty about this, but obviously in Vietnamese culture, it's usually quite easy to veganize things because Buddhists eat things vegan anyway.
Yes.
But when I went vegan, people just didn't understand. They still don't understand now that I don't eat eggs. They're like, "Oh, can you eat this?" And I'm like, "Is there any dairy in this?" She's like, "No." And I was like, "Is there any egg in this?" She's like, "Yes." And I was like, "I can't eat it." She's like, "Oh, you're allergic to eggs?" And I'm like, "It's not that. I just don't eat eggs, okay?" And she's like, "Okay." And I was like, it's been several years. Before my mom went vegetarian, whenever I come over, they'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I guess we have mushrooms." Or like there's like that tofu place that's like around the corner from my parents' house.
That's a sick place.
It is a sick place. But they'd be like, "Oh, there's tofu." And I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll just eat fried tofu." Like, whatever. And still, sometimes that's like what happens like currently. But if my mom's in town, then they like pull out all the stops. They like make vegan this, vegan that, vegetarian this. And I'm like, where's mine? Once my mom started being vegetarian, they like made much bigger of an effort to do it.
To understanding.
Well, I mean, she still eats eggs and dairy. So like every now and then they'll make like a dessert and they'll be like, "Oh, it's vegan." And I was like, "Cool." And I look at like the white stuff and I'm like, "Is that coconut milk or is that milk?" And she's like, "Oh, you don't eat milk?" And I'm like, no. It's just like every now and then it just like is kind of difficult.
Kind of grinds your gears.
Yeah, it's just like they made way more an effort for my mom than they did for me. And I'm like, what? Seriously? For real? So sad. Whenever we go to temple, everything's vegan, so that's easy. Everyone in my family always like brags about how I'm vegan. They're like, "Oh yeah, which means like totally vegan." And people who are like, "Whoa."
Wow.
And they like look at me and they're like, "How are you so big? What do you eat to get so big?" And I'm like, rice. Families sometimes can be very insensitive, but for the most part, my family is pretty good. The next one is juicy. The biggest fight you guys had. Also, rituals you have. I don't think we have rituals.
Oh, eating.
Yeah. Sometimes we have car chats.
Yes, we've talked a lot in the car.
Like I've never talked to anyone as much as I talk to you in the car.
Yeah. I talked to a lot of people in the car. I feel like that's the place.
It's a good spot. Lots of deep and meaningful chats.
Yeah.
That's where we've had fights.
Yes. That is where we've had fights.
Our biggest fight broke us up for like 6 months.
We took a 6-month hiatus.
Hiatus, yeah. There was no like official like, "I'm not talking to you anymore." It was just kind of like, we just like
parted ways.
Yeah. And it was about Eddie. Janelle did not like Eddie at first. And would you like to explain why? Because it wasn't necessarily Eddie.
No. Lisa and I became close around the time where she was with her former partner.
My ex.
I watched her, so we got close around that time, and she was already kind of, like, that relationship was kind of struggling. And then it really struggled, and then it ended. And it was, like, probably one of the, I've seen a lot of breakups, and, like, a lot of, like, people go down. It was probably the hardest go down I've ever seen of a person go through.
I pooped my pants on the subway.
You pooped your pants on the subway. So, no. I was not there, but I got that call. So.
I forgot about that.
Because you called me and you were like, "I just my pants." I was like, "What?" Like, no context. You're like, "I don't know, I just my pants." And I was like, "Are you alone?" She's like, "No." She's like, luckily she had someone with her, but yeah, Lisa basically fell apart.
To be fair, it was a 6-year relationship, and like I thought I was gonna marry this guy.
It was totally fair because it just fell out really, really ugly.
It was bad.
Yeah, that happened. Lisa went through a lot of stuff during that breakup and throughout the end and the aftermath, and then she started online dating, which I was like very, very worried about because online dating is a spiral of like danger sometimes. I'm in it and like it's not fun all the time. So I was kind of worried about her mental health and like how she's gonna go down that. She had like a situation with one person online and it didn't happen, it didn't go through, and she kind of took it hard. So I was already like, this is not good news. We should not be doing this.
And then there was like the other guy that like, I was like, I don't know about this, and he went really weird.
Yeah, he went really weird, and you were just, well, there was one that like kind of ghosted you, and you were so mad. And I was like, that's the universe. That's what happens. Already, I was like seeing red flags about like her being online right now, especially because still like she's still.
It was
wounded.
like a week after
It was a week after, yeah. Literally, like the following week, she was like, I met somebody, had a date, like I'm feeling pretty good about it, blah blah blah, and I was like, okay. He had come over, which I was terrified about, and she was literally like, I'll text you if anything happens. I was like,
I was our second date.
yeah, you were like, I'm gonna invite him over, and I was like, wow. I was like, why would you do that? And you're like, don't worry, like here's the time he's coming over. If you don't hear from me in 2 hours or something like that, you're like, if you don't hear my text, call the police. I was like, why are we doing that? Like, and then I remember she texted me and she's like, it's all good, we're having a good time. I was like, okay. So I don't want to say, like, I just had a really rough intro to Eddie because I saw it through the lens of all the other shit you had gone through. So I had seen all this other stuff, this all other turmoil, and then this man comes along and she's spending every single day with him, and I was like, the is happening? Because I was so scared. I was like, I wonder if this is real, and like sometimes online dudes are weird. So weird.
The first time Janelle met Eddie, we went to the movies, but we were all late.
It's right.
So we ran into the movies. We watched the movie, and then Eddie had to leave right away because he had to work early the next morning. So he was like, I have to drive back to Hamilton. Bye. Yeah. Basically,
we didn't really get a chance to talk.
No.
I think the pressure, you might have been like, this is my best friend. Like, you're gonna meet her.
She hates everyone's boyfriend.
Is that what you said to him?
No.
Oh, I was like, I don't hate every single boyfriend.
You hate them all at first.
I hate a lot of them first. I'm very tough, okay? No, I think, like, I mean, you were like, I think Eddie's a little nervous. And I was like, well, he shouldn't be. And like, that was my reaction, was like red hot, because I was just mad that I was like, he should be brave enough and bold enough and whatever.
I just don't think he'd ever seen anyone with friends as close as we were.
Yeah. Well, and you said, so I remember you said when you first broke up with your other mans that you were like, you basically were my boyfriend because we were seeing each other every single day, driving to each other's houses. We talked all day, every day. Yeah.
But like the kind of that you like tell your partner, like, oh my God, I just like laid a dookie or whatever. Just like random.
But we'd also talk to each other until basically we went to bed. So it was like a very, we got close really fast and had already like kind of been together. So within the first like year, right?
We like worked together, played together.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get into this later, but we like met at work.
Yeah.
Long story short, Janelle had this like really high bar for guys because of like how well we had known each other. My last relationship set the bar really low in terms of like,
I was basically just wondering what could possibly come along right this second so fast. That was good enough. And of course, because it was from online, I was like hesitant. And that's not me not knowing the online world. That's me knowing the online world too much. That I've met so many freakazoids that I was like, I met some amazing people, but I met there's so many not good things about online dating that I was just like. Anyway,
I asked Janelle what she thought of him, and she said, I don't like his vibe. And I was like, I don't know what that means. I kept seeing him, and then she was like, why would you ask me?
Yeah, I was basically like, fine. Clearly you're not listening. Bye.
And like things kind of like snowballed from there, and then like
we said some really insensitive things to each other.
we said some But then like 6 months later, we just kind of like stopped talking because like Eddie and I started dating at the end of June. Around December was when we kind of stopped talking because you went to the Philippines.
We hadn't been talking since though, right?
We had been talking up until you went to the Philippines. Like things were starting to like...
right, but it was wavering. Yeah, it was kind of like on and off.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the Philippines and I was like, Because I was gone for a month and I remember like going and be like, that's a good break.
Like April, I think.
Maybe like May.
Yeah.
I think I was doing prep for summer camp and I remember
like spring.
You started like reaching out to me.
And then we like mended fences over that, but
yeah.
That was like our biggest fight. We've had other like little fights here and there where we like cool off for like a week or two and then...
Yeah, that was the 6 months was the biggest.
That's our biggest one, yeah. We've been through a lot.
It's true.
On a lighter note, what are your favorite things to do? I assume together.
We usually eat. We usually, when we first became friends, we were like usually watching movies.
Playing a lot of Mario Kart.
Cooking. Eating. I just said eating. Eating.
A lot of eating.
Yeah, I brought Lisa into Mario Kart.
Well, she whooped my ass and would not give me a break. She's like, no, this is how you
I don't
learn.
go soft with anybody.
And now I'm really good at it, so.
See? That's what you do.
We would just hang out. Like, we would just sit.
Oh, it's just like a lot of talking.
We'd bitch about people. That's like one of the reasons why Janelle and I are so close is because like we would both find the same things annoying about other people. Most of my friends are like really nice people who are like, oh, that's okay.
They're not so bad. I was like,
So like you were the first person who was like, thank you. Finally, someone who understands. And it's not like mean stuff.
Well, our first hangout too was, I think we had figured out that I film stuff and shoot stuff and you had your food blog and you were like, why don't you come over and we'll like take pictures and like hang out.
You took one of my first portrait photos for the series. For the website. For the website.
So we just kind of like, we should collab / hang. And then that just kind of went from there.
Was I living with Denise then or Clara?
You were living with Clara.
But yeah, that's pretty much what we like to do. Now we like to buy plants together. Occasionally do crafts.
We get excited about the same stuff, so.
Yeah, bullet journaling, food.
It's pretty easy to.
Camera stuff, bubble tea. Have you traveled together? If so, has it ever tested your friendship? I don't think we've made like a trip together, but.
I thought, because you mentioned this question, and I actually thought about Billy the Kid.
Well, it's like traveling and work. So that was a film that Janelle did for her thesis for film school.
But you know what I did remember is like, I'm starting my promotion on Monday, but it made me think of like, obviously I started to think about like other times I've been nervous or whatever and how I dealt with it. I thought about that film because you drove me up and you picked me up and it was like still dark outside and I was literally crying in the car. I don't know if you remember, but I called my mom from the car.
Oh, yes.
Because I was so scared that this film was gonna fail. I mean, I obviously brought you on to like cook food for the film and be craft services, but I think the other major plus that I think I subconsciously had was to like have a friendly face on the film and traveling, right? So like we got to like kind of mini road trip, even though it wasn't too far.
Well, we drove to my mom's house.
We did, yeah. There was one night because we were sleeping in a barn for this film, so we slept on the floor in this barn. Just me and Lisa in one room, just like on the floor staring at each other.
It was so cold.
Yeah, and then we drove to your mom's and spent a night there to kind of like get warm. I mean, obviously we didn't travel that far, but we spent like overnights together for like a week. Yeah, so it didn't test our friendship. It just kind of like made it stronger. Yeah. We just kind of jumped into it.
We're both like pretty chill travelers though.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I think I'm pretty good to travel with.
Yeah,
so like
we're both like, what do you want to do? I don't know, whatever. And like if we both find something fun, we're like, great. Hiking, we like. Traveling to small towns, we like. Farms,
we also travel. I mean, for your bachelorette and stuff.
That's cool.
But I think we just like literally. I remember at your mom's. I think we're both like, do you want to go to bed? Yeah. Like we just like crashed.
Yeah.
So it's not like I don't know. There's no test with traveling.
We have similar energies. It's not like I have to stay up like till 3. I mean, like you have the friends that just can stay up till 3, and I'm like, that's not my scene. See you later.
I think I do. I know we've talked about it, but I do want to go to Disney World. I think you'd be an ideal traveler to go to Disney World because I feel like Disney World you have to like have an itinerary for. You have to like plan. People don't know that. It's no joke.
You can't just go like bop bop boop boop boop.
And I'm not
waste so much time.
Yeah, it's so expensive that you want to like get everything done. I think you'd be a good person because you would know when to like shut down.
How long have you guys been friends? Since 2013, before I was vegan. right? I think I was just vegetarian.
You were just vegetarian, yeah. Because we were at camp for two years together. 3 years.
Either 2012 or 2013. One of those years. I'm pretty sure 2012. Did I first start my master's or was my second year of master's?
I think it was your second year.
Okay, so then 2013. Whatever. Since then. 6 or 7 years. First impression / something that annoys you about each other / inside jokes. Honestly, I don't remember our first impression.
I know, and it's funny because I vividly remember mine.
What was yours of me?
Well, because I told it at your wedding, but
For then.
well, I'll tell you. I was getting there. No, we worked at band camp together. Lisa's birthday happens to fall usually in the time that band camp is happening. Literally on the first day of band camp, we all like sit down as a staff and kind of like meet everybody. And this girl brought blueberry squares on her own birthday. So like no one brought I was like, this girl's like, it's my birthday, so I brought blueberry squares. And I was like, the f I was like, who is this bitch that's like, I'm gonna bake something for my own birthday. Happy birthday to me. And you were like handing them out like a pro. And there's like 75 of us, right? Like there's a lot of people. And you're just like, like handing these bitches out on your own birthday. So I was like, who is this girl? And I'd already been to camp the year before.
And that was the 1 year I missed camp. So it must have been 2012.
We just missed each other.
Because that was my last year, because I was coordinator at Foot Patrol that year. So I had to stay for 101 week.
Like my first year camp, I came in late. I didn't really bond with anybody that much. Like it was just, it happened so fast and I didn't get to know anybody too close. So I don't know, I didn't find anyone that I like latched onto.
You were waiting for me.
I was waiting for her, apparently. Yeah, and then I saw this girl handing out blueberry square and I went and had a blueberry square and it was delicious. I was like, oh, this is nice enough to bake these on her birthday and they're good. I was like, oh my god. Band camp is a very intimate, weird experience because you're like slammed into everybody for like a 2-week period.
You guys all sing together.
Everyone just loves each other for the 2 weeks. It's very intense.
It's a lot of hugging.
It's a lot of hugging. It's like the most hugs you ever have. You're like, oh yeah.
I'm not a hugger, but at camp I was forced to be a hugger.
It's funny because I'm not a good hugger. Because I don't really commit.
There were people who commit.
Yeah, I'm very like,
I don't know, just like,
yeah, I guess I really love them, but like otherwise I'm just like, I hate this.
But like the people that we were hugging, they like scoop. They like get up in there.
Well, and they're long hungers. Like there's people that
they just like breathe you in, you know?
Hold you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's happening?
And I'm like very self-conscious about like my scent. So I'm like, do I smell? Do I smell bad? I feel like I...
Hey, you are always like, am I sweaty? I'm probably sweaty. Why do you have to ruin everything? You always ask that question.
It's not me asking. It's a, I'm
do
sorry,
I stink?
I'm sweaty. Yeah, do I stink?
I probably stink. Man, yeah, that's totally true. Well, now that you're like saying it, I'm like, that's something I totally hear all the time. And you're like, I probably stink. Oh God, I smell. We kind of got to know, we didn't even get to know each other that much at band camp.
Because we're in different like camp, like,
yeah.
I taught flute kids and you taught musical theater kids. And they're just
musical theater is like
completely different.
We are on the other side of camp and we are theatrical, so.
But people always ask me if I was an MT.
Yeah, because you kind of slid into that group.
Because I'm wild.
Only the cool kids get to slide into that group. We got to know each other a bit at camp, and then, because everyone like plays games and, you know, plays cards and hangs out and stuff, and then it was after camp that we like asked each other out basically on like a friendship date.
We bonded over like our parents.
Yeah. Our extended family is very similar.
Oh yes.
And our moms are very similar.
Yes.
I think we both enjoyed each other's company at camp.
I think we just both thought that we were funny. Like we're both that like.
We are funny.
Well. Right. Do we have inside jokes? We have so many random jokes. It's just like stupid stuff that's not funny.
I know your ex pointed it out, and I think Eddie's might have pointed it out too, that we've like taken on each other's mannerisms.
Yeah.
Kind of around the time that we hung out, I started making more sound effects, and you started to like, yeah, my like literally my like wow is like from Lisa, so which I do all the time, and I never started until I met you, and then you also had that text tone. Wow. Yeah. Like we would be like,
it's from Fairy Tale.
Wow. Yeah. But that was like, that's something that we kind of, it was, I don't know if it's like an inside joke, but nobody knows where that's come from. And I don't think a lot of people have noticed because it's been a while now, but.
The wow?
Yeah, like little mannerisms like that, I think that we kind of like grabbed from each other.
Or like the, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember your ex being like, "Oh, I noticed that Lisa talks like you," and I was like, "Oh." When he met me, I was like, "Oh, sorry."
Sorry, I talk to her every day.
Yeah,
I'm like someone.
She sounds very sassy. I guess.
Oh,
was,
yeah.
What the term he used was, and I was like, okay.
He actually blamed me a lot. He's like, "Oh, you sound like Janelle right now." I was like, "Oh, you."
Well, damn good. You sound damn good. It's honestly because I know my other friend has said that, like her partner said the same thing, like, "Man, you're sounding like Janelle right now." And my friend's like, I just got told that I sound like you." I'm like, uh-oh.
Eddie has only known us as like a unit.
He's only known as a unit.
Does veganism prompt conversation within your friendship? It's something that's come up. I used to be more like, go vegan, and then I cooled down.
Yeah, I think when you first went full vegan, I think you were kind of like, join us. But you cooled down actually pretty quickly. I've never felt like pressured or guilted or anything.
You already like avoid dairy a lot because you're lactose, and then you.
I'm in denial, but I am.
Yeah. Sometimes you tell me, you're like, "Oh my god, I ate this," and I feel like
I got ice cream, so now I can't leave the house.
I'm like, why don't we just? No,
yeah, you're like, that. How about you don't eat that kind of thing? And I'm like, I know.
That's exactly how I say it too.
I can't help that. You're like, you know, when you went vegan, you know you wouldn't suffer like that. And I'm like, choose a dairy-free ice cream.
Then you go, okay.
Yeah. I actually thought about this recently too. I didn't know that was a question. I'm much more sustainable in terms of like my waste, and like I live in a household that's very, very, very wasteful.
I remember,
and I'm very aware of it now.
When we first met, you only drank out of bottled water, and I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's true. And I totally stopped. I haven't drank out of bottled water. I have an Nalgene that I love, but I have reusable straws, I have reusable cutlery, I have snack bags, I have produce bags, I have grocery bags.
Hell yeah.
You name it. It's shifted my, if I go to events with you, then I've like, most of the time I've bought my sustainable stuff with Lisa, because she kind of knows what's best.
I scout out, I'm like, don't get this one.
In terms of like what brands or, you know, what will hold up quality wise.
Don't get that, it's too heavy. And you're like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Is it too heavy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone asked, why are you so darn awesome? I was not as humble. I was like, I don't know. I think it just like, quote unquote, awesomeness just comes from us learning to accept ourselves.
We've also come a long way too. The awesomeness comes from like years of practice. Years of experience.
Years of not giving a hoot.
Years of figuring ourselves out.
Don't
give up on us
now.
I'm having such a good time.
I'm having a blast.
Having a blast.
That's something that probably annoys you, that I never get lyrics right.
No. That's one of the questions, right? Yeah.
I never get lyrics right.
No. Never.
I'm not allowed to.
I always get lyrics right.
Yeah. You know all lyrics.
Yeah.
That's like something that you and my ex had a superpower together. You could listen to a song once and you'd be like, I know it all.
I wish I could take that knowledge away and put other knowledge in there, but I can't.
Someone asked, how did you meet? Band camp.
Band camp.
How did you meet? Do you live in the same city? If not, how do you stay in touch? We do not live in the same city.
No.
Janelle lives in Toronto. I live in Hamilton. So it's about a 40-minute drive. It's a lot easier now that you drive.
Mm-hmm.
But I used to drive 40 minutes to you when I lived in downtown Toronto.
I was just thinking that when I was driving. I was like, thank goodness I drive now.
That's something that we used to have a fight about too. I used to say like, you should get your license. Like, you're like, I don't need a license. Yeah. And I was like, you're gonna need it one day.
Well, sure enough, yeah. I didn't realize you were gonna move to Hamilton, but.
But yeah, we talk a lot on the phone.
A lot.
Like a lot, like every day, like an hour.
Yeah.
It's not a scheduled time.
No, it's kind of by accident.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, I'm driving. Let's call Janelle.
I called you crying like 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's true. I was in the middle of playing a game and I was like, oh god, oh no. And I like tried to mute the game and I was like, okay, serious time.
I'm listening.
Well, I was listening, but I was just like, oh god.
Shh. What's up? We're actually, no, we're pretty good though. If we're always like, oh, I didn't answer your call, but is everything okay? Or like, what's up? If it's serious or something, then
we have to like schedule in advance stuff like this.
Yeah, when we're gonna hang.
Yeah. If you could take a best friends trip, no partners, where would you two go? Money is no issue. Well, we already established Disneyland.
I would also say like a food tour of Asia. Like I'd want to go to like a bunch of different.
Basically, we want to make street food, but
yeah,
vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want to go to Japan. That'd be cool. I want to go to Middle Earth.
Yeah.
Eddie would like be excited to go to New Zealand with me, but not as much as you would. Cause like I
would cry. I would just, if I see Hobbit houses, I'd just be crying.
I'd be like, oh my god, it's the Shire.
I get very overwhelmed.
I have like a Christmas tradition of watching Lord of the Rings, and I tried to get Eddie on board, but he's just kind of like, I'm bored. Yeah, he's not as into it as I am.
We're doing Star Wars right now at my house, and then we're gonna do Lord of the Rings after.
Normally Harry Potter is our Halloween tradition, but we got a little
We do like all
busy.
three.
It's a good time. Do you worry about vitamin B12 or iron deficiency? I mean, not in our friendship.
All the time in our friendship.
I appreciate you asking the question. I personally am not that worried.
I'm very concerned about Lisa's iron.
I have had low B12 before, but that was before I was even vegetarian. That was like me as an omnivore. I was low B12.
We stopped talking because she was low on B12 and iron.
Janelle, what was your reaction when Lisa told you she was vegan?
I was like, good. Because when I met you, I watched you cook on my thesis. And I remember watching you wear gloves and like your hands were in so much pain and like you had so much...
I mean, not unlike now.
Yeah, but it was worse. Like when I first met you and I remember like seeing your arms for the first time and I was totally like startled that like I didn't know eczema could exist like that.
That was definitely stress related.
Yeah.
And that was definitely from my previous relationship.
It was like startling.
I refused to wear a t-shirt for like 2 years because it was like all over my arms. It was like...
Yeah, you were wearing long sleeves in the summer and I was just like totally taken aback.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that is no way. And I used to be like that when I was younger because I had like some other skin issues. So when you said like, oh, going vegan might probably like, you know, might help my skin, I was like, oh, go, great. Go. Do it. Because I knew she was going to figure it out in terms of like what she's going to eat and stuff. Like obviously the usual questions of like missing cheese and things, but she already wasn't eating meat.
But that cleared up once I ended a relationship.
Yes. Yeah, they were like on fire during that whole breakup and I was like, oh my god, like
For the record, he's not a bad person. It's just it was we were not right for each other.
It was stress related.
Yeah. Someone just wrote be yourself. How are y'all so cute? That's from Jess.
Aw.
How are you cute, Jess?
I don't know.
What do you think each other's greatest quality is? I think your greatest quality is that you don't take no shit. That's a double negative. You don't take from anybody.
You don't take no shit.
You know the worth of your friends and you're like, don't stand for that shit. Don't do it.
That's why I hate every boyfriend.
For the record, she likes Eddie now.
Yes. These Eddie fans are gonna be like,
He's a lot of fans.
Yeah.
My videos only do well when he's in them.
They're gonna come for me. I would say your best quality, which you've even got like better at, is like offering aid, like offering help, whether it's like talking or like literally one of the first times I'm such a little baby, but when I get sick, I'm really, really awful at getting sick. And that was around like the first time Lisa and I were getting close. And she like drove over and made soup in my kitchen. Like didn't go and get some soup from like some restaurant or something. She like came, brought all the fresh ingredients and then made it in the kitchen. And I was like, man, I don't know how I got a friend like this, but okay. Like she's like, I'm in bed being like a baby and she's literally making it. Well, I had my wisdom teeth out, so like fair. And then same thing, like I got really sick. She was there making in the kitchen. And I was like, and my mom was like, who is this person just cooking food for you? Like, what level of friend is this? And I was like, a good one. Like I was like, and same thing with like talking and stuff is like, no matter what, like you make sure you get back to me or like, you know, especially because we know each other really well. Like, you know, if I'm calling over and over again or something, you're like, something's probably wrong or whatever. So you're very good at like figuring out how to be there, even if it's at a distance. And I honestly, it's not like I thought I would, but it's not like I feel the distance either.
Yeah, you were really worried about me moving to Hamilton.
Well, yeah, because we were in the West End for a little minute there, and it was kind of nice. It was so close.
Yeah.
And I just got my car.
I was there for 2 years.
She was in Mississauga. Yeah, but like getting my car, right? So I had this short period where I had my car, and she was like, we were in the same end of the city, so it was great. And then she moved, but it worked out, I think. And like I said, I haven't noticed any difference.
No. How do you prioritize your friendship when you have so many other demands on your energy? Honestly, because we keep in touch with each other like a little bit every day.
A little bit every day.
It's like fine. Like,
yeah, it's totally fine.
We're usually up to date on like every little stupid thing that's like going on. Like any like my family drama, the old family drama, weird interactions with people that I have.
Yeah.
I have so many weird interactions.
Yeah, we talk every day at some point.
Yeah, even if it's just texting.
Or we schedule, like, you know, if like we can't really sit and like talk for right that second, we'll say like, oh, I'll call you later tonight or something, you know. I don't know, we found a way to...
But it's always been like that. We've always just been like...
Talk every day.
I'm home from work.
Yeah, we usually call each other for driving home or keep each other company.
I mean, I don't really drive that much anymore, so it's usually just Janelle calling me on the drive home.
Yeah, you used to be like, I'm driving home from Barrie or whatever.
I'd be like driving to and from Ottawa, and I'm like, I'm falling asleep.
Yeah.
Keep me
awake. I'm like, okay.
And the last question is, what would be your origin story as superheroes of each other's lives? That is so intense. I do not have that kind of imagination.
I have too much of an imagination. That's the problem. Is mine is gonna be so weird.
I feel like it would have to do something with the fact that like we both have so many like similarities in like our personality, or like I feel like it's like some freak accident where we were one and then we like became two different people and lived different lives, and then like we found each other later because we had so many like similarities. It was freaky.
Mine was more of like a Powerpuff Girl origin.
Oh, okay.
Where like someone's making a bowl of soup and you rose from it. Your love language is soup.
Really didn't occur to me. Something happened to my friends earlier this week that was like pretty traumatic, and I like felt really helpless and I didn't know what to do. So my automatic first instinct was like, I know, I will make soup. So I made 3 different kinds of soup and giant batches of soup.
Yep.
I made enough soup for like 100 people.
Ridiculous.
And then I took a picture and I was like, huh, I think my love language might be soup. And I was on the phone with you and you're like, you think? It definitely is.
It is. I remember seeing you so happy, like cooking even for the film. You were like,
I love it.
People were coming over to your little kitchen counter and you were just putting out bowls of stuff and you were so happy. Good morning. I was like, oh my God.
I don't know how I survived that, because I would wake up before everyone and I'd be the last to go to sleep because I would make sure that everyone was fed before.
Yeah, you stayed awake when people were still shooting, when people were wrapping up stuff. Like you were staying awake because you were like, well, their soup's gonna get cold.
Well, because they wouldn't eat. They would skip dinner, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, no, they gotta eat.
Or you would go bring it out to them on like a tray. I was like, you're actually crazy. I'm like lying down in the cabin. I'm like, Lisa.
But like their call time would be like 7 o'clock in the morning. So like 6 o'clock I'd be like,
yeah,
gotta make oatmeal for everybody.
Yeah, you'd be like stirring up oatmeal and putting it all out so it was like easy for them. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That was wild. I fed 35 people for a week. Lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks.
In the frigid cold. We were in a barn.
It was like a little tiny cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so cold.
Yeah.
No, that's your love language, is like feeding people.
Yeah.
Because I even said it at your wedding. I was like, I don't know how many times she's fed me, but it's been a lot. And like in times of crisis.
Yeah. Because like a lot of times I feel like I never know what to say. I've had to learn a lot over the years that like sometimes if people hurt or they want help, they don't want a solution. They just want you to listen. It's taken me like 6 years to learn that, oh, this is not a solution situation. Okay. So I'm just listening. And so if I'm just listening, I feel like, here's food.
I made you stop.
Anyway, so that is all the questions. We were a little worried that no one would ask us questions, and I'm overwhelmed with how many questions that there were.
It's nice.
Yeah, it's
I was
cool.
like, oh. Yeah, I was like, what if nobody asked us anything?
But now it's a very long video. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like down below. Let me know if you want to see more mukbangs like this. I actually really like this setup. This is the first time I've ever set it up like this, and it's like kind of...
I told him. It looks nice here.
It does look good, although the kitchen is so messy in the background. So if you guys want the recipes for the lumpia, which was so good, I'll leave it linked down below. It's different from Vietnamese spring rolls, which will be coming soon to not the blog or the channel, but available at some point. It'll be out somewhere. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a delicious day. Bye-bye.
Yeah, because I'm sitting up straight. And my whole head's inside.
Yay.
Ooh.